Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you.
We forgot to put up our Christmas tree. I was gonna put it up behind us and I forgot. But I mean, there's a good reason that I forgot. Oh, we got an ad. What ad did we get? Join free 6W masterclass. What ad did you guys get? I got some ad for a masterclass. We found out that even if you skip our ads, I think we get, even if they skip our ads, we still get a few pennies.
And this is a long ad too. Good Lord.
Okay, just skip
Goodbye.
it. Skip that ad. We get a few pennies every time you guys get an ad. It's not much, but it is enough to help us make more videos. So for those who are joining us for the very first time, we spend the first 10 minutes of every live stream just kind of chilling out, waiting for everybody to get on, announcing news. And then we have a super duper exciting interview that you guys are going to want to get a pen for. Go get a pen like right now. This is your chance. Last chance to go get coffee, get refills, get paper, go potty, whatever you need to do. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened this last weekend. I know that a lot of people came to my live launch for Art by Starla Moore, which is my own Etsy shop. For those who made it, holy crap, you guys saw it was a mess, but I mean, we had a lot of people who didn't realize what a mess it was because we kept our composure, or I kept mine. I guess you weren't on camera. It was a mess. Facebook blocked us because we had so many people participating in our pre-launch. You know, we had what, over 80 people in the stream, and that doesn't count for the people who weren't watching the stream and who are just buying.
Yeah, there were quite a few of those.
We ended up making over 100 sales from our launch within a day, and it was ridiculous. And we have been packing orders ever since. In fact, when this ends,
we're going to go right back to doing that.
It's been like 12 hours a day packing orders. This is the fun side of Etsy that many Etsy sellers don't get to see right away. But man, when it hits you, it hits you. So let's go ahead and talk about some news. On November 26th at 9 p.m., I will be presenting a very small, it's like a 10-minute branding presentation at the Raw Artist Organization's Ovation event. The name of the event is Ovation. Raw Artist Organization is recognized in hi bubbers, all across the US. It's also recognized in Canada, Mexico, and Australia. And they present in, I think they said 71 different cities. And the Handmade Alphas are going to be presenting. We are one of their sponsors. So that's super duper exciting. And though I'll only be on stage for about 10 minutes, we will be giving away a Handmade Alpha Academy scholarship at the event, simply because we don't get to present a lot of valuable content. 10 minutes isn't enough time for me to do a big workshop. So I decided to just do another scholarship. So if you're interested in that, I did not link it in the video. Crap. It is in the email that I sent today at the very bottom. And this is an 18 and up event. This is not just like a vendor's fair. This is an artisan event for visual arts, performing arts. There will be actual live shows and musicians. This is a huge opportunity. So this is going to be a lot of fun. If you have any questions about it, feel free to email me at starla@handmadealphaacademy.com. And we will also be there hanging out. We'll have our own little booth where we can, hang out with you personally, answer any questions that you might have, yada, yada. So Ovation, 9 p.m., November 26th. Handmade Alpha Academy is opening on December 1st through the 10th, as in it's only open 10 days, as in you need to get on the email list right now if you want the big, giant, fat, over half off discount that we can't even talk about because it's just too big and I tried to keep it a secret surprise. So make sure that you are on the Handmade Alpha VIPs linked down below. Black Friday is this upcoming Friday, and there will be no live stream on Friday because we are expected to have probably around 200 sales that day, and we have to start packing orders that day as they're rolling in. Yes. Otherwise, we will never be able to resurface ourselves. So no stream this upcoming Friday. And for those who don't have my Black Friday survival guide, that's linked down below too, but you're already kind of cutting it close if you don't already have that freebie, we're right at the end of our Black Friday lifeline. So feel free to grab that, but this is your last opportunity to do so. Otherwise, half of the cheat sheets aren't even going to apply anymore. So if you haven't gotten it, go ahead and grab it, and you're going to have to really hustle to keep up with the rest of the alphas. Unboxing video. Our big holiday unboxing is coming up, and you have to get your items to us, as in not shipped on, but to us in our box by December 5th, because we need time to actually record the video. And because we're hosting a holiday giveaway, we need time to be able to advertise and get people to enter that holiday giveaway in order to win those prizes before Christmas. So if you guys need our P.O. box and all information and guidelines for our unboxing videos, you can find the link way down below in the video description. And if you've missed our unboxing series, you can also find that on my channel. I think that we've had 3 unboxing videos so far.
I think so, yeah.
3 unboxing videos. So they're a lot of fun. Just be sure to follow the guidelines. And if you are sending products for the giveaway, make sure to include a business card. That way, we're actually doing our good deed by promoting your brand in the giveaway. If you don't include a business card, the winner won't have any way to know who it even came from. Last thing, for Handmade Alpha Academy students, if you're a Handmade Alpha Academy student, please let me know in the comments that you're here. For our current students, class of 2018, Alpha of the Year video contest ends on Thanksgiving. So you have 1 week or less than a week to submit your videos to me. You need to send them either to me by email or upload them to YouTube and send me the link to my private Academy email address. You guys know what it is. Nobody else gets to know that. I can't announce it live. Send me your video link. That way you guys can enter Alpha of the Year. Our Alpha of the Year prizes are either your choice of a DSLR, I can't even remember what model.
I can't remember the model either.
It's $800 DSLR camera or an $800 Google Pixel 3. So it's your choice, whichever you want. And we are going to be doing judging throughout, I think December is what I said. We're going to be judging throughout December. I'm not very organized, am I? So that is our news. We've got about 2 minutes, guys. I wanted to very quickly wish you all a super duper happy Thanksgiving. And Mr. Moore and I already have our Thanksgiving shirts. I have the Trinity. You can't see it.
I got a cat on my lap. I can't stand up.
Hold on, let me.
All about that potato life.
Mashed potato life. Are we goobers or what? So today we are going to be talking to one of our Handmade Alpha Academy All-Stars. And every Friday up until, other than next Friday because it's Black Friday, but every Friday up until Handmade Alpha Academy reopens on December 5th, we are going to have a different Handmade Alpha Academy student here to talk to you about, some useful information that you can take with you and apply to your own businesses today. And I am picking like the best of the best students to participate in this awesome little interview series, I guess you could call it. And we've already had Linda, we've had Amber, and I think that Amber's interview last weekend is one of our most popular interviews to date, excluding Anthony Wolf, because of course everyone's like, oh, Etsy rank. And they want to watch Anthony Wolf's. So make sure to go back and watch those 2 interviews. Amber's, we've had a lot of feedback on Amber's. Everyone loves Amber. And there's Amber in the comment. So we've got about 1 minute, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce our amazing, awesome, super wonderful guest, Yelisa. She actually sent gifts to Mr. Moore and I during our last unboxing. So you might remember these bracelets here. Can you see them? If not, be sure to go back and watch our unboxing video. But these are some of her products, and you can find all of her links down below, her shop, her email list, a 30% off discount code for the Handmade Alphas, and her Instagram and Facebook. So let's go ahead and unmute Yelisa. Can you unmute Yelisa?
Yeah.
Bubbers is like taking over.
I know, she has to unmute herself.
Oh, does she?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to unmute yourself? You got it? I think you can.
Okay. Now?
There she is. Yay, there's
Okay.
Yelisa. Hooray! Yay, there she is. All right. So Yelisa, let's go ahead and introduce you and talk about your shop, what you do, what you make. I know I kind of showed like some previews of what you create, but we'll hear it from your own words. What do you create and what is your shop name?
So my shop name is Serenity by Ellie, and I work with natural stones and the energy of the natural stones. I'm also a Reiki master, so I imbue those stones with Reiki energy, and I create bracelets and jewelry. Like right now, I'm also wearing some of my bracelets and my jewelry, and the idea is to help you set your intentions and live the life that you want to live, because that's what I'm here for, to help you achieve that full life that we are all entitled and it's to have. So yes.
That's so awesome. And you know what my favorite part about that is? You didn't just get on and say, my name's Yelisa and I make bracelets because they're pretty and you can wear them. Like, you actually have intention and a purpose and a story behind your products. And so many sellers struggle to have that purpose for their products, or, they struggle to say, what problem does my product solve? So you have such a defined target market. You have such an amazing brand image. I don't know if you guys have seen her branding. We actually unboxed some of her packages in our unboxing video, and I was just in awe of her branding and her inserts and her just cohesive, the color scheme of her package. It was just so great. So Yelisa, let's go ahead and talk about why you're here today. And I know that you have some exciting news. I published this live stream yesterday, and I published it as Yelisa's return customer rate as 37.8%. And she has some exciting news for us. Yelisa, what is that news?
Well, the last orders that have come have been from repeat customers as well. So that's like a 38.2.5% already. So, that percentage is just growing and it's escalating. And thankfully, because my repeat customers are the ones that are keeping my shop alive and my income coming in.
That is awesome. So just since I posted this video, her repeat customer rate has increased just ever so slightly, but that shows how truly amazing it is to have those repeat customers that should be making up, that 20% of your, or 80% of your sales should be coming from 20% of your market. So Yelisa, let's kind of talk about your strategy, because I know that everybody in the comments wants to know, how do you do this? How can I do it? How can I get my customers, to come back and buy from me over and over again? Do you have any tips that our alphas can take home with them today?
Oh, yes. I have a lot of tips for them. And, for all you guys. The first thing that I also want to say is that I'm a new shop. Okay. So I'm not a 10,000 sales shop. I'm a new shop. I started.
And when did you open?
I'm sorry. I opened in December. Like, my first order was from a friend, and it was around December 9th. So by the time I joined the Handmade Alpha Academy, I had been doing this for 6 months already. And I had sold around 134 bracelets. That was like 96 orders. And then since I joined Handmade Alpha Academy, and I think yesterday, the day before yesterday, I had 174 orders, and I had sold 222 bracelets. And it's just been 5 months since I joined the Handmade Alpha Academy. So you can see how I've almost doubled my orders. And by the time the 6-month period comes, it's going to be more than double for sure. So I also just wanted to say that, because a lot of people like me struggle, because being a new shop, I see those stories of a lot of people selling a lot, and that gives me a lot of hope, and I love it. But it also seems something so hard to reach. Like, when am I going to get there? I want to hear from somebody that's just starting, how they're doing it, because that's where I am. Because when I get to that level of sales, well, those, it's going to be nice to know those people that are selling a lot. And yeah, it doesn't seem that far away anymore. I'm getting there, and it's working.
Yeah. So, and I hear that all the time, where sellers say, oh, I see these shops that have all these thousands of sales, and that's great. That's super great. But it just feels so far away. That bar is so high. I can't relate to that. So when we see you starting, just a few months ago, and then we see how much you've grown in that short period of time, that is a sign of hope for all of those sellers who ask themselves, is this really possible? Is it possible to start new on Etsy now, even though there's so much competition? And in the jewelry market, Yelisa, you are in probably the most saturated market on Etsy, right? And you are growing so fast. So let's talk about those repeat customers.
Yeah.
How do you draw in those customers to ensure that they come back? Because obviously this is the reason for your success. These people love you. And I have watched your pre-launches. And I mean, even though your pre-launches don't have, 100 people there, like mine do, the people who are there are so valuable. So let's talk about them.
Yes. Well, so here's the thing. The first thing that I'm assuming that everybody that's in a handmade business is here for the same reasons that I am, because I love it. Because this is what I want. I mean, I don't want to go back into my computer science background career. I want to be doing something that I love and that fills me, because I really enjoy it. So I think that being genuine is one of the first tips that I would have for alphas. Find something that you love. And if you're not really truly 100% loving it, then maybe just research and find that thing that drives you, because once you find it, you'll communicate it to your customers. Your customers will feel it, because even if it's just in writing, they feel when it's phony.
Right.
There's something there. And, I think one of the things that has helped me a lot is making that connection. Because people come to handmade sellers because they want that connection. Otherwise, they would just go to the high retail stores where they can even get better prices, right? So people come to me because they want that connection. They want me to acknowledge what they're going through. And I work with the natural properties of gemstones. So people sometimes are like, well, my son has ADHD. I need something to help my son. And I'm like, well, I have this bracelet, but tell me a little bit more about your son. Because, I'm not a doctor, and I also, just as a disclaimer, right, just putting it out there. And it's not like medical information. It's just so that people know that there's ways to help, right? So, and then I talk to them and I ask them a little bit more to see how I can help them, even if it's just adding an extra stone to that bracelet that makes it theirs, that makes it something special for them.
And you find a way to show them that you care more than the service that they'll get if they go to Walmart. Walmart's not going to ask you, you're having this problem. Tell me about it. Even if you can't solve that problem for them, you're able to show them some compassion and sympathy, and really connect with them on that level where they say, wow, this person genuinely cares. And it's not like you're faking that you care. You really do care. And I have a lot of people who ask me, like, what's the shortcut to this? How do I make people think I care? It's not about making people think you care. It's about caring for your people.
Yes. You have, and people can spot a phony. It's very easy to spot a phony. And that brings me to another thing. I thank them. I try to live my life with an attitude of gratitude. It doesn't mean that I don't go through problems or issues. I mean, we all do. But I try to take myself out of that and just see what I'm grateful for. So I transfer that to my business as well. So even if a person is just making a tiny purchase, I don't care how tiny it is. I'm so grateful for that. Right? I hear a cha-ching, and it's almost like a party in this house every time I hear it, and it doesn't get old. It's been, I don't know how many hundreds of times, but it does not get old. So just being so grateful and appreciating that makes me transfer that gratitude to my customers as well, and they feel it, and they feel that there is that connection there.
That's awesome. And I think that's something that even I struggle with, because for any high volume sellers out there that might be able to relate, to Mark and I, there are times when I'm tired and I get a sale and I'm like, Oh, not another one. And I'm happy that I got the sale, but then I'm just thinking, oh, I just got all of my orders packed. It's almost like when you clean the whole house and then your kid spills something on the carpet and you're like, oh no. And then, I'm trying to practice more of that. And I am so happy that you mentioned it, because it really is. I mean, even if it's a momentary inconvenience, anything, even responding to a customer who's given you a hard time, and having to take time to send them 10 emails back, even though that might be kind of stressful, you're still exercising that ability to care. And you should also really, be grateful that you're able to do that rather than working that 9 to 5.
And making that connection. I had a customer, and I mean, we're human beings, right? So I received this email right before going, like Etsy message, right before going to bed. And it's this customer that is telling me how the bracelet is not doing what she thought it would do for her. So I can't tell you how many things went through my mind at that time. But the first thing I do is, like, when there's an issue, I try to respond promptly. I mean, she was not going to expect me to respond at midnight, right? But I try to respond promptly. But if it's something that's going to be more complicated, I give myself time. And I write it, I rewrite it. If I have somebody that I can get them to read it. And once I've gone back and forth, I find the best way to communicate with them. First, I never place the blame on them. Never. Because, I mean, what do I gain with that? Nothing, right?
And how do they feel? How would they feel if you did that?
I always place the blame on myself. And I mean, she wanted me to help her with personal issues that she had. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss. I don't know how to help you. And the only way that I could think is maybe that our energies are not matching. But you know what? I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to issue a full refund. Please don't send that bracelet back. And I wish you find the best spiritual and emotional solution for what you're going through. And she wrote saying, thank you so much for all you've done for me. And thank you for doing this for me. So, even when you find somebody that's got a difficulty, treat them with kindness and love, because that's how I like to be treated. And, customer service has changed so much here during the years. It's not what it used to be. And especially where I live, I mean, it's very hard to find somebody that really enjoys taking care of the customer. And people like that. People like to be taken care of. People like to be, to have somebody that's honest and says, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I goofed up. And just make it right for them. And I don't only just make it right. Like, if I really truly goofed up, like one time I have some bracelets that are very similar one to another. And this lady placed an order for one of them and I sent her the other. When I realized what I had done, I immediately messaged her, and it was already on the way. I mean, I realized that when it was like a day after I shipped, that I look at the order again for some reason. I'm like, oh man, I sent the wrong one. So immediately I messaged her and I said, listen, don't freak out. You're going to get the wrong bracelet in your email. First, I want you to know that you don't need to return it. Second, if you like it and still want to keep it and you don't want the other one, just give me another bracelet in the same price range that you want, because I didn't send you what you wanted. So I want to give you another bracelet. If you really still like the one that you order, I'll send it to you. But you know what? Also give me another one that you like, because you're going to receive 2 bracelets no matter what. So give them. And some people are like, oh, that's fine. I still send that to them, and they're so appreciative of what I do. And then, they come back.
And I know that a lot of people, and I hear this a lot in my own business, because I do something, I do very similar things with my own jewelry business, where if someone receives something and it's not what they were expecting, or they decided that they don't like it. And I know that this can't be done with all business models. Like if you make high-end coffee tables, obviously you can't say, oh, you can keep it, I'll ship you another one. Like, I know that doesn't fit all business models, but I hear a lot of people say to me, aren't you losing money? Aren't people taking advantage of you? You can't just give something away like that every time you mess up or every time somebody doesn't like it. Now, first of all, for any skeptics out there, there will be very few occasions when somebody doesn't like your product unless there's something wrong with that product. And there will be a few cases where you get, you know, a customer here or there who either misread something or they didn't like it. And it's okay to let them keep it if there's no reason that you don't, you know, if it's easy for you to produce, if it's not going to break your bank. The thing is, you just have to be intelligent about it and monitor that specific customer. You know, the good thing about Etsy is you can see what type of conversations they send. And if you notice a customer is doing the same thing like 3, 4, 5 times, you can cut them off. But when we're talking about those first time situations where somebody genuinely orders something and they don't like what they received or they have any issues with it, you have a couple of choices. You can either tell them tough luck. You can say, okay, you can return it to me and I'll issue you the refund, which it's an okay thing to do, especially if you have, you know, a high-end product that you're going to require back. Or you can put that blame on yourself. You can compensate like what Yelisa does, send them a new product, allow them to keep the other product. And let me tell you, when you do that, even though you may have taken a hit on the product that they got to keep, what you end up with is a repeat buyer whose long-term value, their LTV, will far surpass the singular item that you allowed them to keep for free. And a great example of this is my best customer, my highest LTV customer. She has purchased over $6,000 from my shop alone. And it all started with an order that I messed up. But my service is what kept her coming back for more. And Yelisa is building this business model where she puts her customers above her profits. And she's still profiting. She's still profiting regardless of the fact that she's doing that, because those customers are feeding on that energy that she is representing, and she's showing her customers that this is what she is all about. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Yelisa, mainly because in the replay, I know that a lot of people are going to say like, oh, that's not smart. You're going to lose money. You know, don't let customers walk on you. But that's not at all what this is. This is, you know, taking one customer out of 100 and giving them amazing service that they'll tell their friends about, and they'll leave like in those reviews.
Oh, yes, totally. And I've seen it, like, you know, people come back. And I had one of my customers, she didn't like the way the bracelet fit. And I said, well, that's not right, because that means that you're not happy with the purchase, even though I sent her exactly what she ordered, right? So I just sent her a new one. I'm like, well, let me try and do this for you, right? Instead of making an adjustable one, let me try and put a clasp, or let me try and do this or that. So I sent her another one, and she's bought from me 3 times already.
That's amazing. And that probably paid off the free item that you sent her already, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Yes. And here's the thing. When you're starting, you need that proof that you are genuine, that you are the real thing, that you are gonna take care of the people that buy from you. Because if you don't have that, then, I mean, I have like 40% of my purchases are reviewed. And that is a high percentage. Most sellers and most big sellers, they only have 30% of their items reviewed. And I mean, of course, and they're all 5 stars, except that one 4-star that's like, I love it, but it's a 4-star. I mean, it happens too. Some people just don't get the 5th star. That's fine. No worries about that. But I have 5 stars reviews, right? Because, and I need those reviews. So to me, the cost of shipping an extra bracelet, you know, is well worth that review, or well worth not having that negative review, because that's also something you have to.
Those reviews in the long term, those are your reputation, and those have a higher ticket value than any item in your shop. Each of those reviews is you know, that proof. And if you had one bad one there, that could potentially send away thousands of dollars worth of potential customers. So that is huge. So we've got, let's see, we talked about showing your customers that you care by being genuine and actually, you know, caring about them. There's no way to fake it. You have to care about them. And, you know, to go along with that, expert customer service and taking that blame, and always, even if you know it's not your fault, putting that blame on yourself and making sure that the customer understands that you are going to take full responsibility for the situation because you own it. That's your situation. Yelisa owns her situations. Even if she doesn't have control over them, she owns them, she conquers them, and she always has a solution. She always has a way to help them, even if it is just, sending the customer a new product that they will love. So that's two great things that you guys should write down. Yelisa, what else do we have on this list?
Well, and then to continue wrapping up, showing appreciation and showing that gratitude, the last thing that I want to say is that when Etsy shows you when there's a repeat buyer. Most of the times I remember what they bought. My memory is terrible, but for some reason I remember what my customers buy. And if I don't, before even sending that first swipe file email, I go look and see what else they bought. Or before, as soon as they place that order, I go look, because it's happened that they've bought a bracelet in a size and then they place a new order and they do a different size. So when I get back to them with that bracelet, thanking them for their order, I'm like, by the way, I realized that the last time you shopped from me, you used this size. So I just want to make sure that, this bracelet's not for you, or that you didn't have an issue with the other bracelet, because if you did, just send it back to me. I'll resize it for you without any issue. So people usually answer like, thank you so much for catching that. The bracelet that you sent me before was perfect, but I just got mixed up and chose a different size. So right there and then I stop a mistake from happening.
That is so amazing. That is some amazing prevention. I have never heard anybody who makes bracelets or anything that's sized. I've never heard anybody like do that before. That is so freaking fantastic, girl. Wow.
And I also do that, like when I see like a weird size that doesn't like match, I'm like, well, let me just make sure that this is for you, because if you choose the kid size, that's really not going to fit an adult hand. Even if your wrist is tiny, your hand, the ones that slip, the adjustables one, it won't slip through your hand, even if it will fit your wrist. So I try to do that, and that helps a lot. So it's prevention, it's proactiveness, and it stops me from having to send a free bracelet later on.
Yeah, that is so amazing. And think about how that customer feels when what they usually expect when they place an order is just some auto-generated, Walmart email. Thanks for your package will arrive in 6 to 8 business days. When they get that message personally from Yelisa that says, hey, I just want to make sure, double checking. I don't want to ship you the wrong item. Is this the right size? If I got a message like that, I would want to leave a 5-star review before the product even arrived. I would just leave that 5-star review and say, oh, it'll get here when it gets here. I'm just excited to get it. So that is amazing. Wow. I didn't teach you. I didn't even teach Yelisa that. I can't take credit for that. That's all her. She should be teaching the customer service here, because that is fantastic. I love that. All right. So do we have any more tips that you want to?
I do. So piggybacking a little bit on that, showing appreciation and that you care, that also sort of crosses the line to communication. Having great communication with your customers is vital for a handmade business. Like if you want to stand out from somebody else. I try to answer as fast as I can, because usually when I answer fast, that's a sale that I get. Because if somebody else answers faster than I do, then that's a sale that I lose. And that doesn't mean that I'm always with my phone and all stressed out. Sometimes I can't. And if I can't, that's fine. But if I can, I try to just go ahead and acknowledge people immediately. And of course, sending all the transactional communications that Starla shares in her swipe files. And I've also changed them a bit, because when a VIP customer or when a repeat customer comes back, I just look a little bit at what else they bought and just sort of make little changes so that they feel that it's not like just the same communication that they're getting. And usually I send them, every first time customer gets the same type of email. But then when they've come back, they each have a different thing that I change. And I might not be I might not be able to do this once a lot of orders start coming in, but I will try for as much as I can, because people do appreciate when I acknowledge those little differences.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you know, that's one thing that I'll point out is we actually, when we did our launch this weekend, we didn't send our swag. And for those who are wondering what swag files are, that's a freebie that I issued last year that everyone was super crazy about, and I'm reinventing it and doing like an actual video series to go along with it. That'll be coming out in January-ish. I think just New Year, just keep New Year in mind. So don't email me for them. I won't be sending any copies until that's ready. But what she's referring to is a set of emails that you send your, not emails, but Etsy messages that you send to your customers to create that you know, that connection with them. And I created them for you so you can copy and paste. And Yelisa has almost like her own reinvented version for her own brand. But one thing that I will say is this last launch that I did got so crazy because we had so many orders that there's no way that we weren't able to do the swipe files. Etsy actually blocks you when you have that many orders, but it's still, you started with it. You know, you are establishing that brand message when it matters. And, you know, someday, if you do have like some crazy blowout sale where you aren't able to do swipe files, it's fine, you know, for that one occasion, just like it's fine, you know, for me, I can't do it, you know, during the Black Friday and the launch stuff because it's just too crazy right now. But you can always pick it back up when things slow down and just claim back, you know, claim that back. So you should never just stop, and you can pick right back up where you left off. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And sort of like the last topic, because we've talked about, you know, being grateful, showing appreciation, having good communication, taking full responsibility for everything. But, you know, the one thing that will set you apart from everybody else, because like you guys were talking about, I'm in a very saturated niche. It's not just jewelry. There's a ton of people that sell gemstone bracelets. But some of them, like me, are Reiki masters. But so then here's the thing, right? I want to offer something that nobody else is offering. And one of those things that I'm offering is free repairs for my VIPs. I have a nice warranty for buyers, but it's a lifetime warranty for my VIPs. And then here's another thing that not many people know about. I offer a free weekly Reiki, distance Reiki cleanse of their stones. And I post on my Facebook group every time, like, guys, it's going to happen today at 9:30. If you want to join me and set your intentions, go ahead and do that. And people know that I'm going to be cleansing their stones. They just have to reply to one of those emails and say, hey, I'm in, I want this. And, you know, they don't even have to worry about that part. So I'm doing something that nobody else does. I have not heard of anybody doing this for their VIPs. And so I want them to also sign up for my VIP club, right? So I offer something that's so exclusive that everybody loves. And this is the best perk that I offer. I mean, from what my VIPs have told me is that this is the perk that they love the most.
That is so awesome. So that's what makes you the purple cow. Like we talk about in Handmade Alpha Academy, becoming the purple cow and finding the thing that turns you into the purple cow. And for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's like a Handmade Alpha Academy thing, but it's the thing that makes you stand out in the saturation and the thing that you do differently that's different from everybody else. So Yelisa has found a way to spoil her VIP members with something that they're going to love, they're going to find value from, and they're going to keep coming back because they know that they're getting this added value. It's not just, you know, she doesn't end at the transaction. She doesn't, you know, say, okay, you have your item, I have your money, you have your item, we're all happy, we're done. Like, that's not the bottom line. It's almost like when you buy one of her products, you become a part of this community that is actively, you know, contributing and actively engaging and talking. And it's not just a product. It's not just a transaction anymore. It becomes a movement. And that is so much different than anything else that any other sellers do. And
It's funny. Deanne actually said that Etsy is now actually recommending. Remember, we got that notification.
yeah, and Yelisa sent me that too.
Customers, yeah.
Yeah, so Etsy now is recommending that you send a thank you message to your customer. Oh, really? Really, Etsy? She's over there laughing.
After you blocked us numerous times, I wonder which support agent we talked to ran that up the chain.
Yeah, we actually messaged Etsy once and said, hey, you know, communicating and thanking our buyers is essential, but we keep getting blocked because you guys think that we're spamming people. We're not. We need to communicate with our customers. And we brought this up with a live customer service rep because we had the beta chat, and they said, oh, we'll bring it up with blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Thanks, Etsy, for crediting us. So now you can thank your customers. Yelisa, we've talked about a lot of awesome things. Was that your last?
Well, the last thing is that there's an extra perk that I offer my VIPs, and I give them like free consults for when they want something that's custom made and personalized just for them. So, you know, they tell me what they want help with, and I sort of tell them, well, these are the stones that can help you best for this and that. So, and they love that because, and then again, you're acknowledging them, you're showing appreciation, and you're making that connection. So, you know, that's like exactly, you know, all these things that we've talked about is what I do for them. And some of them are my friends now. It's funny because in February, I had a customer that she said that she was sort of local. I live in a tri-state area, so she was like, you know, close by, 45 minutes away, and we connected. And we've had a relationship, and she's been to my house, I've been to her house, and she also does Reiki, and we've done things together. And yesterday, you know, my mom and I were sending Reiki to her mom. So we have a friend there. And then also another lady, and she's like, oh, you know, I'm Cuban, where are you from? So we connect in a way that, I mean, I have friends in my group right now. So that's also important.
I always hear people saying that you can't be friends with your customers, and that is so not true. Some of my best friends, I have so many customers who have become my best friends, and it's okay. It's not people. I think people worry like, oh, if they become my friend, I'll be taken advantage of. But when there is a difference between spoiling your friends and giving all of your friends that same spoiling, you know, it's not like you're favoring one person. You give them all this amazing you know, these amazing values. That's because that's what they are. What Yelisa has created as a stack of value. And any business can do this. There's just, you have to find out what it is that your particular target customer will value and a way to add value to the pre-existing items, because Yelisa could just open a shop and sell bracelets, send bracelets, and be done. Like, she could end there. That is what 90% of Etsy sellers do. But she doesn't. She has created this viral phenomenon in her community. She has created, you know, the trust and the friendship value. And this is what keeps people coming back for more and more. And I knew right from the beginning when I saw Yelisa, you know, right when she joined Handmade Alpha Academy, and I saw how she ran her business, I knew that she was going to be one of those Etsy sellers who grew at that exponential rate because of her values and because of almost her morality. And we even had Lindsay commented and said, "You have such a beautiful soul, Yelisa." So I wanted to tell you that everyone's commenting and talking about your customer service and how amazing it is. So that is so fun. Do you want to take some questions from the alphas?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? To help all the alphas.
Yes. Perfect. All right. So let's do it like this. While you guys are typing in your comments, I've been doing this for every single Handmade Alpha Academy student who we interview. So you guys go ahead and type your questions in. And while we're waiting for those, Yelisa, this is the first time that you and I have had a face-to-face where we've been able to talk, you know, aside from email. What is, and I want you to be honest, brutally honest with me, what have you taken away from Handmade Alpha Academy? Is there anything out there that you want them to know? Be, like I said, brutally honest. Anything that you want students to know? Anybody who's kind of debating? You know, I know that your words as a student are way more valuable than me up here talking about my own program. So I'm just going to give you like the stage to say whatever you want. Totally uncandid, and Yelisa is not a paid affiliate. I have to throw out that disclaimer.
And yes, I'm not a paid affiliate, but I'm so grateful to Starla that I'm like, of course, I'll answer your question right now. I'm not, I mean, I can say that Handmade Alpha Academy is the best investment that I've made for my business. And my business has paid for it already. And, I'm so grateful that I took the plunge, because I was not quite there on going broke if I bought it. But I had to buy it through a finance system that I had, because I didn't have the money to pay for it. And next month, after I started applying all the Handmade Alpha things, I had already sold that $1,000 that I was like, so desperately trying to come up with. So that is like awesome right there and then, because it's immediate results. And the other thing is funny, because I'm also an HTU student, and I had started with HTU. So a lot of the things that I already knew from HTU helped me a lot to go a little faster through Handmade Alpha modules, because honestly, I binged and I worked so hard on trying to get everything ready that I think it took me like a couple of weeks, and I had gone through everything and I had made a lot of changes, and then sales start coming in, so I couldn't finish making all the changes. So that's going slowly right now. But what I have to say is that when I got in and I saw the content, I was like, is this going to be enough? Like, and oh boy, is it enough. The lessons are simple, concise, precise, and once you implement them, sales start coming in. So much that I haven't been able to change all my listings. I haven't been able to update all the photos that I know that are a little bit, that are not like HAA standard. I haven't been able to update all the descriptions of my listings, because sales have been coming in, right? So that's an awesome problem to have. So I mean, I love it. Honestly, everybody, if you can do this, it's going to be the best thing that you can do for your business. And Starla is always there to help, lend a hand. We have a very supportive community on the Facebook group as well. And I mean, I'm happy over the moon.
You're so awesome. And you know what I love is when we did, my favorite like thing to watch you do was when we did the Handmade Alpha Academy, like the private live editing session where I taught you guys how to do reflections. And then you immediately like busted out some of the best reflection photos that I had ever seen with your dragon bracelet. Was that the one that you did? Was it the dragon bracelet that you did with the reflection? I was just watching you do that so quick. It was like, you are born for this. Like you take the things that you learn and you just immediately apply them rather than holding on to them for months and months and then, sprinkling them in. So, excuse me.
But here's the thing, Starla. I hated editing photos. I don't love taking photos. And like, that was not my thing. Like all the marketing stuff, it was like, oh, pulling teeth. Here I go again. I have to do this part. And I remember even like saying that in one of those chats. And right now, the other day, I didn't have enough time to prep like months in advance for my launch, but the pictures were coming, it was flowing. So all that I've learned from Handmade Alpha Academy regarding marketing and photos and editing and all that, it's just like fast. I don't know. It made me like a different person. And then, I'm throwing out these gorgeous pictures and I'm like, wow, did I do that?
And I stop every time like I scroll past one of your photos, and I have to like stop and say, oh, that's Yelisa. Like I think that it's like a high-end jewelry brand posting something, and I'm like, oh, it's Yelisa. So that's super awesome. Oh, we got a couple comments. Okay, are you ready? Are we ready for questions? All right. So Ms. Moose asks, what was the hardest part about launching your Etsy shop?
Do you mean like launching for the first time or launching my first collection? Because I mean,
I think your shop, like actually launching, like getting, I would say your first collection, getting, really hyping up your collection and getting that first bit of content out there.
Yeah, I'll answer both. I mean,
Okay.
the hardest thing for me to open up my shop was getting my green card so that I could legally be able to open up my shop. As soon as that happened, I just went and started. So like for me, it was an external factor because I was so excited and I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So like I said, again, pictures, that was my struggle, taking pictures that were good quality. And also I struggle a lot with copy because I'm not a native English speaker. So to me, it's very hard to write. But you know what? Starla has a module where you write a whole bunch of stuff in your Etsy shop. And after that, it's like I became a different person because right now I've even been invited to write an article for a blog and I'm doing it. And I was like, whoa. So I also gained this from Handmade Alpha Academy. So I think I struggled a lot with pictures and copy. I knew the business model that I wanted to create. I knew the level of personal create a connection that I wanted to have with my customers. I knew that I wanted to give great customer service. I knew the products that I wanted to do because I've known this since, I've been working with jewelry since I was 13 years old and I'm 47 right now. So, it's been a lifetime. But Handmade Alpha got me to overcome all those barriers that I had regarding pictures, not only taking them, but editing them, marketing them, and writing, even if it's like a brief description of my listing in a way that's going to attract and capture a customer to buy it.
I had no idea that copy was a struggle for you because you're so good at it. Like when I read your ads and even just the posts that you make in your group, they're so natural. They sound fantastic. I would have never guessed that was ever a struggle for you. So that's really cool. Amber had a good question. Amber Murray, who's also a Handmade Alpha Academy student. She says, were your live videos of the cleansings popular straight away, or did you have to grow that scheduling of this time, this day, be there mentality for them to show up? Because she says when she does her lives, because she sketches, I end up talking to an empty room, and she wants to know if they were popular right away for you.
Well, here's the thing. I don't do like the live video of me cleansing the bracelets. I just tell them that I'm going to be doing it a certain time and to join me if they want. I do, however, but this is sort of new, do some live videos in my group talking about the properties of certain stones because I have people that want to learn more about certain specific jewelry stones or they're attracted to a stone and they don't know why and they want me to explain what it means. And usually I also have a small group, Amber. I don't have like a huge Facebook following like you have. Like my group is like 40 people, but I usually get from 1 to 5 to join my live feed whenever I go live. I do have to tell them, give them a heads up, because if I just do it out of the blue, it's very hard for me to get people to join. So if I schedule it with a couple of days in advance, I get more people to join.
Yeah. And five engaged participants is so much more valuable than having 100 dead weights, and that's a problem that I have is I've got, over 3,000 people in my VIP group, which is great. But we usually, out of those like 3,000, we see 100 people who are in there during the lives, which when you look at the percentages, it's not, you would expect there to be more people, but a lot of them are just dead weights who joined and they don't ever see my content. But what you have is a lot of people who are actively engaging, which is far more valuable. AB asks, aside from Facebook, what other social media platforms do you use to advertise?
Well, I wanted to do it all, right? Because I'm new and this is exciting and this is fun. So let me just go and do it all. And I was getting overwhelmed. But Starla has a module where she helps you choose what platforms work for you. So right now I'm just doing Facebook. I have my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and Instagram. And that's all I'm doing right now because I just can't do more. I have other commitments. I'm not just doing, just taking care of my shop. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I have a lot to do with my daughter, and she's in gymnastics. So, believe me, that takes a lot of your time up. Yeah, you just have to see which ones work for you because not all work for everybody. And Instagram, I'm getting there. I'm gaining followers little by little, and same with Facebook.
Yeah, tackle platforms one at a time. In Handmade Alpha Academy, I recommend having 3. And after that 3, you don't need more than 3. Pick 3 that you're going to dominate and do them well and dominate them one at a time. Yelisa is dominating Facebook and the Facebook group, and she's working on Instagram as her secondary. And then, if she builds the first and the second really strong social media funnels, I mean, she could technically survive without the third one because the Facebook page and the Facebook group could technically be considered their own individual funnels. Plus she has an email list, right? Yeah. So that's its own funnel. So in terms of social media, just pick one, master it, and then move on to another, because if you try to do them all at the same time, it usually is just a mess. Melissa is in your niche, and she asks, I also work with and sell crystals, and my shop is only 1 month old. Yelisa, what did you do to get your audience started?
Well, honestly, I think my sales mostly came from Etsy in the beginning. So having good SEO in that time was crucial. Then Etsy made some changes, and good SEO is still important, but you got to take it a little further. And Starla has an awesome method that it's top secret for our academy. But that helped me get back in the SEO game, because since I'm starting, right, my social media is not my main funnel. So the other thing that I had to do was make sure that I got my customers coming back, because I'm new. So once they know me and they like me, those are the ones that I want coming back, because it's going to be easier to get them to buy again from me than start capturing new people that have no idea what my shop is about. And some people are just scared to just buy in the beginning. So yeah, mostly from Etsy. That's where I got them from in the beginning.
Yeah, and then once you have that email list where you capture them, in Handmade Alpha Academy, we call them rabbits. And there's a cute story to go along with why we call them rabbits. But when you get those rabbits in your funnel, they're not just hopping all around. You have them confined in your own little email list. So they're not hopping away from you and hopping, to your competitors. You've got them all condensed, and you can market to them over and over again because they want to be there. They want to be with you. They feel safe with you, and they don't want to risk shopping with anybody else because they know nobody's going to spoil them like you do. So that is huge. Sandra, I'm actually I don't want Sandra to think that I'm skipping over her, but I'm going to answer her question because this is more of a Renee Christine question. She says your Etsy banner shows all of the as seen on logos. How did you get seen so early on in your business? And this is actually a top secret tactic that Renee Christine teaches in Handmade Titan University. It's kind of an advanced tactic. So we don't cover it in Handmade Alpha Academy. I do want to throw out that disclaimer. That is Renee Christine's territory. And I'm sure that Yelisa, she's like nodding her head like, yeah, we can't smell those beans because they're not our beans. Those are Renee's beans, but Renee teaches you how to do that in HTU. Claudia asks, Yelisa, as a fellow bestie considering joining HAA, why would you recommend it to a bestie on top of what we learn from Renee? Good question, Claudia.
Yeah, that's a great question. And just really fast, being seen in all those things that Renee teaches, it helped me gain loyal customers from the beginning. So that really helped me. But then going back to the question, like HTU, HAA, I think they complement each other a lot, because Handmade Titan University is great, and it has wealth of information and a lot of cool stuff. And, Renee has a lot of shortcuts on how to, just be able to do things. And she also helped me a lot with copy, because I would have never been able to write some things that I needed to get my business out there known without that. But then once I started HAA, it got a little more personal. It got a little more applicable specifically to what I needed in my shop. And it's specific for Etsy, right? So to me, that's very important, because I'm learning from Starla, which has also been a star student of Renee's, who has built up this Etsy business, who has all these things that I want to have, and she teaches me how she got there. So, and there's also something that's very important. She talks a lot about psychology. And if you really want to give great customer service, you need to learn what motivates and what drives your customer in order to be able to get this. So I also like that, you know, she focuses more on that and specific things to Etsy. So yeah, that's like my biggest thing.
Yeah, and ultimately HTU is an amazing course. In fact, Renee and I have talked about it on multiple occasions where we've said, you know, what are, if asked, what are the stepping stones? And we have come into an equal agreement that HAA is almost like where it's a good starting point. Even if you're already a bestie, it's almost like for the alphas out there who are saying, which should I do first? Ultimately, HAA is a great starting point to lay that foundation, and HTU is the marketing course that teaches you how to market what you already have. But ideally, they still fit together like a puzzle piece, because HTU is specifically marketing no matter where you sell. HAA is specifically Etsy, designing that Etsy storefront and learning that buyer psychology. That way you can really dominate Etsy as a platform. You're taking over that platform. So, and then Jessie Bourne says, let's see, she makes blown glass beads. She said, "Hi, Yelisa. I'm also in the saturated beaded jewelry market, and I'm considering taking the HAA course. Your advice for me as a newbie, aka a struggler." So I don't think that this is so much an HAA question as it is a, you know, overall, because I think we've talked about HAA enough. For a, you know, that newbie who's just starting out, do you have like just one bite of valuable advice for a brand new seller in that saturated market of, we'll just say beading, like generalized beading?
Well, I think there's three things. I mean, just one is very hard, because the first thing you need to do is have great pictures. The second thing that you need to do is also know that you're going to have awesome customer service, and that's going to be very important for a starting business, because you need people to come back. The ones that already took a plunge with you, you need to make sure they loved what they got from you so that they can come back. And the third thing that I would say is, of course, you cannot get anywhere on Etsy without good SEO. So you need it. You need SEO. You need a good picture to attract that customer to click on it and come into your shop. And once you got them there, spoil them rotten so you don't lose them and they keep coming back.
Right. And that makes sure, and if they've ever bought with someone else before, or if they decide to shop with someone else after that, they're going to think to themselves, wow, nobody treated me like Yelisa does. Yelisa is so much better. Yelisa treats me good. I don't want to shop with this seller anymore. I don't want to risk buying from this other seller because they're not going to treat me how Yelisa does. So you set the bar, you become the bar. And that's how you dominate the marketplace. You become the bar that other sellers, you know, look up at you and they're like, wow, I'll never be able to reach that level of greatness. Katis, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Have you done live sales on your Facebook page of over 25,000? No, I don't do Facebook lives on my public page. I keep that in my group because that's almost like one of my little spoiling, like added value things. I notice I don't get, even though I have a lot of Facebook likes, the way that, you know, the Facebook algorithm kind of works is that you should only expect about 15% of your followers to see your posts organically. And that's only if they follow Facebook's very specified guidelines, using perfectly square images, not having too much text on your images. I'm talking about not boosting posts, just posting in your Facebook timeline. So I don't really waste a lot of time on my public page. I like to spend a lot more time in my group because I know that my group has a way higher activity rate and there's a lot more engagement going on in there. So I don't host sales on my public page. I keep that in my group. Wendy Work Art said, how new are you to Etsy? And I believe we discussed this before, but
December would be a year, right?
December will be a year?
Yes, December will be a year.
Awesome. So not even a year yet. She is brand spanking new, like Etsy baby, who's already taking over Etsy in her niche and dominating. So that is super awesome. Let's see. Ooh, where are we?
To the lightning round.
Oh yeah, we should do our lightning round. I'm trying to find where.
There's one.
This one? Okay. Cher asks, I've had an email list for months and I put it everywhere and have 0 subscribers. How do you get people to sign up?
Well, again, I'm coming back to that awesome customer service, because unless I give them something that's unique. Oh, and then like the unique things that I told you that I give, right? I tell them, you know, if you subscribe to my email list, you're going to get a coupon. But it's not just that coupon. You're also going to get free weekly Reiki cleanse. You're going to get free repairs. You're going to get lifetime warranty. So some people just subscribe because they want the coupon. Other people don't care that much about the coupon, but they like the other things that I offer. So I make sure to add in each and every one of my orders a little card that says, join the VIP club. These are the perks that you're going to get, because I don't want to make it like super public that I give all those perks. I sort of just want to keep it like a spoiling kind of thing. And that encourages them more to join, because, you know, not everybody knows about this.
Yeah, and that keeps it special. Those are your insiders, and they feel like they're getting something amazing because, like, oh, she picked me. I can join, and I can get all of these things, and everybody else doesn't get it, and that's what, you know, creates that viral excitement. Ginger asks, I'll let you answer this. It's an HAA question. Ginger asks, does HAA go step by step of what to do, like branding and how to make a logo?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it goes step by step on all you need to know on branding. It goes step by step on how to use iPicky and how to sort of create your banners and all that stuff. But it's not a graphic design course where they're going to teach you how to create like a logo, right? So if you're talking about your branding and if you're talking about your banners, yes. The definite question is yes. It's a step-by-step thing where it's almost like I felt handheld throughout the whole course, which is awesome. But like, you know, it's not a graphic design course. So just so you know, that's different.
We talk about branding. We talk about color psychology. I walk you through the entire process of, you know, choosing your branding colors so that you're actually appealing to different psychological triggers that exist in the human brain. And then once you have that information, I give you the best resources to hire out a graphic designer at like the lowest price possible so that you can actually, because, you know, usually what I see is people who aren't graphic designers who try to make their own logo, they usually don't do a great job. Every once in a while, we do see a few that do an awesome job, and they, you know, they come in with no experience and they do it and it's great. But most of the time, what I see when people try to just wing it is it turns out not super duper good. And I don't want anybody to be stuck with a logo and have to rebrand later. Like, you want to be good right out the door. That way you can continue building that brand recognition for the logo that you have right from the start. So that's like one of the only little interior expenses that you can possibly pay for in HAA, because we try to keep it as cheap / free, you know, other than getting a domain email address. We don't even require you to buy Photoshop. We keep it that cheap. So that the only thing that you might want to buy is a logo. Laurel said, I started with architect, then HTU, then HAA. I wish I had started with HAA, HTU, then architect. Yeah, that's like the sequence that things would organically stack naturally. Starting with architect is, that would be, I mean, you could go backwards, I guess, but I can see how it would be much easier to start with HAA and then work your way up. AB, my market is similar to yours, holistic alternative people who like crystals, like what I make. I'm struggling finding my target market because it's huge. What are some descriptors of your market? So maybe we'll like zoom back to, I think, module 2 of HAA, talking about the target customers that we created. What are some of those descriptors when you created your target customer from module 2?
Yes. So before I go into that, real quickly, I want to add the person that was asking about the logo. There's been people in the group that have hired some of the resources that Starla mentions, and they've had awesome logos made for them. So if you get to join HAA, you can ask them who they chose and see what they came up with, and that way you can choose if that's for you. So my descriptors. Here's the thing. I'm also part of my target market, right? So for me, it wasn't that hard to come up with what does a person need to be in order to enjoy my products. But even then, I sort of focused on yoga a little bit more, but now I'm seeing that it's a lot more general. So in the module, Starla helps you create this persona that defines your target market, like your ideal customer, because that's something very hard to come up with. But she gives you all this great information, and you can just come up with that persona. And usually, with time, you need to tweak it here and there, but it gives you an awesome starting point.
Right. And that customer, what we teach you how to do is create like the baseline. And then as you start making sales and getting, those repeat buyers and the people who are in your VIP club, and you start learning more and more about who they really are, you can adapt and change and evolve your target customer into what they really are. So what we teach is the baseline, the outline, and then you fill in the blanks with more and more details as you get those repeat sales. And Yelisa has done a fantastic job doing that, because she sees those people engaging in her groups, and she's getting to know them and taking that time to talk to them, learn about their needs, and she's able to define it more and more and more every single day. Lisa asks, do you do promoted listings? If so, what is your daily limit? Has it boosted your sales?
So here's the thing. Before, like 3 months ago, it used to be that a lot of my sales came, not all of them, but I did have enough sales come from promoted listings that it was worth for me to have those promoted listings up there. In the last 3 months, I haven't seen as many sales coming in from promoted listings. So it could be various reasons. It could be some changes made on Etsy. It could also be that the market is different right now. It's not completely engaged at this time. And it can also be that, there's more saturation in the market. So my ads might not be getting shown as much as they were being shown before. So what I would say is that this is very personal to each of us as a shop. I know a lot of shops that make a killing out of promoted listings, but I also know a lot of shops that just don't do them all together because it doesn't work for them. So even if we are in the same niche, the way that you have your keywords set up might make a difference in if promoted listings work for you or don't.
Awesome. Let's see. We're going to do a quick lightning round and finish up our last question. So this is the end of questions, guys, because I'm sure that, like me, Yelisa probably has to pee, or maybe that is just me. So let's see. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, okay. This one, I love this one. But I would like to also point out that if you want to see Yelisa's packaging, you can go watch our last unboxing video. The picture for the thumbnail is me and Mark like switched, and I'm wearing his hat and he's got a red wig on. It was for Halloween, so look for that thumbnail. But Upfinished Furniture Heather asks, Yelisa, what type of inserts do you include with your packaging? And I literally like go through all of her inserts in that video. But Yelisa, like lightning round, do you just want to like overview the inserts real quick?
Yes, I include now a thank you card that I didn't have when you did that video. So I have a thank you card, a join my VIP club list card, a jewelry care card, and the properties of each stone that compose the jewelry piece that's included in the package. Those are the inserts that I add.
Perfect. I love your inserts, by the way. You have fantastic inserts. I was so surprised when I opened them. Share, I believe you mean in reference to HAA. Do you let people know that branding is more than just a logo? I used to work in graphic design and marketing and had to explain that all the time. I believe that in HAA, my exact words are, your branding is not your logo. Like, I think I say those exact. She's nodding. Your branding is not your logo, and it is not the colors and the pretty fonts that you decorate your brand in. That is not what branding is. We have an entire, in fact, we have multiple lessons on branding in HAA that define exactly why your branding is not a logo. There are two types of branding, visible and invisible, and invisible is much more important than visible. Sports Monkey 1, who do you suggest to help design a logo? I mean, there's so many. There's thousands of graphic designer. I mean, we don't have like a recommended singular person. You can get on Etsy and find graphic designers. You can get on Fiverr and find graphic designers. They're all over the place. Let's see. There was one more. Okay, Ginger. I'll go ahead and answer Ginger's, and then we will kind of sum up. Ginger asks, should you have everything stocked and fully branded before you launch, or can you launch but still work on that stuff as you go? What do you think?
When I started my shop, I did not have all the inserts that I have now in my branding. I did not have the bags that I now use. So definitely start with something, because sometimes also when you're a new shop, people won't be expecting that you have everything. If you can have it, then even better, because, you know, it's just going to give you so much more. But if you're tight with money, you don't have it quite there yet, well, start with what you can. But there's a few basics. You have to be grateful, and you have to give them something of value in those inserts that you include.
Yeah, focus on the invisible branding aspects first, because then when you do put in the visible branding, people are just like, wow, her branding fits her style. Her branding fits who she is. So, and real quick, Karen, I'm going to go ahead and answer yours. Karen asked, are you able to evaluate an HAA student shop? When you're in HAA, I've only had like 2 students who have ever emailed me to need me to actually personally evaluate their shop. We do have extreme cases where students, you know, where we've had a few students who have struggled tremendously, and I do get one-on-one. I don't let anybody go without, you know, direction. If they need the help, I am there by email if they need me, but we very seldom have anyone who completes HAA and then needs additional help because it's so concise. And in fact, Yelisa, I don't think have you ever emailed me for help? Have you ever emailed me personally for help?
No, I mean, I just asked you like a Black Friday sort of opinion.
Yeah,
but recently, but no, I've never had to. Everything is there in the course, and sometimes when there's something you don't know, it's just easy to post a question on Facebook, and Starla will always chime in, and other people will chime in. So yeah, the course is very self-explanatory. It's very well developed and designed.
Yeah, and I mean, I pop into the group all the time and try to do Q&As with just you guys, and nobody asks me any questions. And then I always say, wow, is the course so detailed that you guys have no questions for me? And then we end up talking about something silly. So that's usually how we usually end up talking about cartoons. I think we talked about SpongeBob like the last time that we did a Q&A, or you know, a group Q&A. So and do you only have students that make jewelry, or do you accept all handmade? Yes, all handmade, everything handmade other than one-of-a-kinders, because you have to have a repeat product line, and we can't do vintage because once again, you have to have a repeat product line. So Yelisa, thank you so much. Let's talk about real quick the discount that you're offering for alphas, and any if you want to shout out the platforms where everyone can follow you. Those are all linked down below, but go ahead and overview what they are. What we've got for
so yeah, you'll find all the links in the description of the YouTube video, but there is a specific code for Handmade Alphas. I'm giving you guys 30% off, and this is the same discount that I give my VIPs. So you're getting the top of the line discount, and it's going to be valid till November 30th, and I'll include a special gift for you alphas. Once you use that code, I'll include a special gift. And if you sign up for my email VIP list and you see other one, just shoot me a message and say, I'm on HAA. I came through HAA, and I'll include that gift as well. And, you know, links for my shop and Facebook and Instagram are there. So just click them. Join me. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, and check out some of her marketing photos. She creates some really great marketing photos. All of the alphas in our Handmade Alpha Academy student campus Facebook group, every time she posts a new marketing photo, everyone's like, how did you do that? That is so awesome. How did you make that? So I love watching her different marketing photos because they're all so cohesive with each of her collections. And I just love watching her evolve and grow. So Yelisa, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Everyone has been awesome in the comments. Everyone's saying amazing job. Yelisa, thank you. Everyone's super duper happy. So be sure to go check out her shop. And Yelisa, be sure to stay on. Don't like close out the window, because after we end the chat, you'll still be here with us. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget, we will not be hosting a Q&A this upcoming Friday because it is Black Friday. I have my own Etsy shop that I'm going to have to wrangle on that date. And I'm sure that you guys are all going to be very busy as well. So you guys have an awesome and safe weekend, especially if you're dealing with the Arctic freeze that some of us have been. It's been snowing here for the first time. So have an awesome weekend, guys, and be safe. Bye.